טוב, אז אנחנו כאן בדוכן של פיירפוקס, בביתן של פיירפוקס, ואני כאן עם ג'ונתן נייטינגייל. ג'ונתן נייטינגייל הוא סגן נשיא להנדסה בפיירפוקס, והוא הועיל בטובו לבוא ולהסביר לנו על מערכת ההפעלה של פיירפוקס שהולכת לצאת כנראה השנה. אנחנו כבר נשאל אותו את זה. Hello Jonathan, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
So Firefox is going with a new OS, right?
Yeah, that's right. We've obviously been building our desktop browser for years, but when we started looking at the way people were using the web and the way they were going to be using it in the future, we realized that we need to get a lot more involved in mobile. So our first work there was Firefox for Android, which we're demoing here at Mobile World Congress. It's a great browser if you've got an Android phone, but we wanted to go further. We felt like the two companies that are controlling the smartphone world right now are both doing it in a very sort of locked down way. That's not great for user choice, it's not great for developers, and so we wanted to do something more. We wanted to bring the power of the web to smartphones as well. It's very hard today to approach a bunch of developers and say, hey, I know you're already building one for Apple. I know you're already building an app for Android. I think you should build an app for me too, right? Because developers get tired. They can't keep building apps for more and more platforms. The difference we have with Firefox OS is that we're telling them to build for the web, and that's where a lot of developers already are. You know, there's a couple 100,000 iOS developers. There's about the same, a couple 100,000 Android developers. There's something like 8 million web developers out there because it's been around as a technology platform so much longer. And in fact, if you look under the covers at a lot of Apple and Android apps, underneath that native layer, most of the work's actually being done by a web app anyhow. So it's really quite straightforward a lot of the time to just peel off the cover, peel off the wrapping that made it look like iOS or Android, and expose the web app that's already there. You know, every popular site out there already has a mobile website, and in many cases all you need to do to create a Firefox OS app is just launch that site, because it already looks great. It's already been optimized for Firefox on Android, and so it's a web app without any additional work. And that's something that I think is critical to our success, because whether you're Windows Phone or BlackBerry or whoever's trying to sell the next locked-in format, I just think you've got a very hard job getting developers to do that. It's hard enough for them to do the work they're already doing.
Okay, and what are the highlights in the Firefox OS? What differentiates them from other OS?
So one of the big things is performance. So because we're running just on the web, because we don't have to have that Java layer in there for Android, for instance, the actual operation of the phone can happen on, in some cases, very cheap hardware, very affordable hardware. Because one of the things we've been looking at is that, you know, our CEO, Gary Kovacs, talks about how in the next 10 years we're going to see another 2 billion people coming online for the first time. First time ever touching the web. And they are not going to look like, you know, first world Western internet users. In a lot of these emerging markets, the idea that your first contact with the web is going to be a $700 smartphone just doesn't make any sense. So one of the things we've done here, and a lot of the devices you see around the conference are running on very affordable hardware because we want to make sure that everybody's got access to it. But the great thing again about the web is it was born on desktop machines, and it's grown with desktops as they've gotten more powerful over the last 15 years. So the web can really scale up and down really well depending on how much technology you're able to give it. On an affordable device, you've got smartphone-like interaction at feature phone prices. But you know, if you put this on a premium platform, you can get 3D gaming, you can get video conferencing, you can get all the things you'd expect, honestly, from a desktop or a laptop computer.
So you're talking about the stores. When will we see the Firefox in stores?
Yeah, that's the question everybody asks. I think every operator is able to set their own schedule, obviously, and so you'd have to ask them for details. But we're hearing operators say as soon as summer of this year, you're going to start seeing these available for purchase by their customers. And you know, we've got developer phones that'll probably be available even sooner.
אוקיי, אז יש לנו בעצם כאן את מערכת ההפעלה החדשה של פיירפוקס, שאמורה כנראה לצאת בהמשך השנה. אנחנו עדיין לא קיבלנו פרטים מלאים מהסיבות הברורות, אבל זה יהיה תלוי בקריירס, לפי מה שג'ונתן אומר לנו. אבל מערכת ההפעלה אמורה להיות מאוד מלאיבה, שחקן חדש שאמור להיכנס לשטח. ג'ונתן מבין שהכסף וההצלחה שלהם תלויה במפתחים, והוא אומר שהם ילכו לכיוון המפתחים בצורה רחבה בשביל לתת למוצר להצליח. So thank you very much, Jonathan. We are very anticipating for this new product.
Thank you. Us too.